What's up, everybody? James here, Project Refit. We got Wade on with us today, too. And we have a guest today. His name is Ben Humphreys. And Ben is going to be speaking with us today just for a little while, giving some of his story and talking a little bit about, some things that he went through and some people that he knows that he wishes that was still here. And even talking a little bit about just his experiences overall. He also was a leader over Dan at one point in the military, too. So that was cool. Maybe he'll drop something on Dan. Who knows? But in all reality, though, I like to also throw out a quick update of things that we've done. So this week, we already had a busy week. We helped a veteran get to down in Arizona, get over to some resources for him. He's a homeless veteran, and we're able to support him and get him over to where he needed to go. We're still going to continue to process supporting him. We got the truck, everybody. We did the thing out in Colorado. We got that done with Greg Williams. We're going to give him another mission. And we're going to continue growing this thing and continue helping others. We're also helping a police officer down in Louisiana. Long story short, her stepson shot himself in the neck. It was an accidental discharge. He passed away. Her brother, who has 80% of his brain is damaged, couldn't really handle it. So he tried to take his own life, didn't succeed. So Rose is still supporting him, has been supporting him for literally years now. And her whole roof the very next day began to collapse in on itself. So we're raising money to be able to rebuild her roof. And we're going to go down there. Actually, we're going to drive down there and we're going to support her directly and show up for her. So that's what we got going on. And with all that said, Ben, take it away, brother. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where'd you come from? Where's your hometown? What made you want to join? And let's get into it.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Like I said, my name is Ben Humphreys. Been in for a hot minute, right? Just about hit 17 years, and yes, I'm still a staff sergeant. That's just my luck. But came from California, from Napa, grew up there, moved to this little small town called Susanville. Graduated high school from there. I joined the Army out of there as well. Why I wanted to join, honestly, it was the big push from September 11th. I want to see what war was, right? So I wanted to experience it, and that's what I did. Joined up in 04, graduated in 05, and got to my first unit. Unfortunately, made a few wrong decisions, that type of thing, and didn't deploy until my 5th year in the military. And my first deployment was with the 173rd in 09. Had a bunch of really great dudes over there. Everything that I learned there, I still utilize today. From great leadership that I've had and all that stuff. But yeah, that was my first combat deployment. I didn't deploy again until 14 because the Army decided to make me a recruiter. Hated every minute of it, by the way. But or no, not 14, 15. That's when we went to. Me and Wade went to. Or no, Wade ended up. Sorry, didn't go to DJ. My bad, man. But same unit. Me and Wade were in the same company. Went over to DJ. Did a little bit in Iraq during that time. Came back. Went to summer camp because it's not a real deployment. Sorry, Dan. Kuwait's not a real deployment. We call it summer camp. Did like 6 months out of there. Went back to Bliss again. Then I PCS, came here to Bragg. Then 2nd SFAB. Deployed with them recently in 2019. Came back, and now I'm in the mothership. I'm in division. So that's pretty much the length of my military career right there.
It's awesome. How's Bragg?
Hot, humid. Whole lot of paratroopers running around here. It's great times.
It's great, man. So,
Yeah.
So you were sharing something with me before the show that was pretty deep, and tell us a little bit about some of the guys that you. Tell us why you're for your life, man. Tell us what's going on. Tell us why you believe that everybody should really reach out if they need help, and talk about it.
Yeah. So, getting right into it, but I didn't experience in our company, right? So my first deployment, nobody in our hell, and all 4 of my deployments that I've had so far, 3, right? I didn't experience anybody in a platoon or our company die, right? But what I had friends in my first deployment, had friends throughout the battalion that died. That obviously hit me a little bit, but it wasn't really personal like a lot of people have had. However, a lot of the things that I've experienced with loss has been from suicides. Was my saw gunner got back from deployment. When we got back from deployment, we were on R&R leave, or post-deployment leave anyways. And he got some stuff, couldn't get out of, thought the best way to rectify the situation was take his life, you know. And we were, a lot of us, you know, me included, because I was a direct line leader, we were frustrated. A lot of us were angry that he did it. We didn't understand, you know, and no amount of the suicide prevention classes and all that stuff really helped, you know, because we were still angry. We didn't know why. We thought he betrayed us in and of a sense. It was kind of tough, you know, and then it went on from there. I kind of hardened my heart against that from a lack of understanding, you know, but and it took me years to figure it out. Hell, 2 more deployments, and before I figured it out, and not just 2 more deployments, but at that point in time, it was 2 more deployments and 4 more buddies. One from our platoon again, and then another one of my buddies from the 173rd in our company, a sergeant major. In fact, he killed himself. But the more it kept going on, you know, the more it was like the survivor guilt thing, you know, like, why does everybody keep doing this? Why am I here? You know, what's wrong with, or is my thought process off, or was theirs off? You know, and it's nobody's just technically off. They just had, from what I can correlate it to, is they just had more going on than anybody knew of, right? And they didn't want to deal with it anymore, or they thought that was the best way. And then in 2016, I finally broke down. I was in the middle of a club with one of my buddies, Steve. And like, I broke the fuck down, didn't know why. It's just everything just happened, right?
Yeah.
And I think I was starting to come to a realization at that point of a realization and understanding of like where they were coming from, because I was getting severely depressed with things that were going on in my life. And that whole mortality and reality of things, of going down that thought process, that path was starting to hit home, you know, and I couldn't make sense of it. But had friends that helped me through, right? Dan, you know, was included in one of those. Even though I was his superior, he was my subordinate. He was, you know, he's a really smart dude. Really, you could talk with him easily. You know, we got along quite well until, you know, I stepped on my dick one day. You know, thought I was big badass, and, you know, kind of altered our friendship a little bit. But I think that we've gotten over that recently, and you know. Anyway, sorry, lost my thought process.
No, that's okay, dude. Keep going.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's come back, you know. And then I've realized that it wouldn't benefit me. It wouldn't benefit people that I know to not continue wanting to live, right? I took it the way I thought of suicide back in the day. I didn't think well of the people that were doing it. I was angry. And at one time, you know, I thought they were pussies that just couldn't handle life. And that's what happened, you know, until it comes to that time where it comes around to you. And you actually have to figure it out, you know. And that's what shifted that mindset and that thought process to, holy fuck, this can actually happen to me. And then trying to figure out why. But yeah, no, I've come to the conclusion that it doesn't benefit anybody that I know for me to take my life, right?
Right.
And that you can do better by living, even by sharing experiences, right?
Yep.
Of what you've gone through and of your process, the things you've fought through, and really like talk to, like, what got me through it was talking to people, was just grab my nuts and talking to people, quit thinking that there was something wrong, and uh, and actually, just suck up and just get rid of your ego and push through and talk to people, so. And since I started opening up about 15, 16, I've opened up to quite a few people about it, and realized that a lot of other people have gone through the same thing that I went through. And unfortunately, there's a lot of other people that haven't made it out the other side. Most recently, I think it was 3 months ago, another one of my 173rd buddies took his life, and we didn't know why. From the outside looking in, it looked like he had a great life. He was always happy, always smiling. But it kind of came out of nowhere, and it hit quite a few of us pretty deeply. Minus obviously his family's feeling it the most. But these that deployed with him, we obviously have a different bond, right? So that's yeah, it's tough, but
So when you were doing that,
it's not tough enough to. I don't want to say it's not tough enough to end it all, because everybody has their own experiences.
yeah.
Um, and obviously mine were a lot less than what a lot of other people had. But I mean, it's my best advice is just to talk as much as you need to talk with somebody. So
When did you recognize that you were like, when did that shift happen for you where you were like, shit, after this conversation, I recognize I'm better off here. Like, I'm good here. Like, I shouldn't follow in the footsteps of my fellow brothers who sadly took their lives.
probably about 2 years ago, was going through a rough spot, and actually called up one of my old squad leaders from that deployment, Uli. Called him up. I was getting ready to move jobs. I was still going through a rough spot, getting ready to move jobs and actually come here. And he was looking at getting one of the jobs just out in a different location. And we kind of talked it through. And, he helped me talk through it. But that one changed. And then a constant, I've had a buddy that is our careers have kind of mirrored each other. Steve Melhath. He's in Campbell right now. He's like my quote unquote best friend in the Army, right? Because we've been in multiple units together, multiple DD stations together. We were both recruiters at the same time, same brigade, just different location, that type of thing. And he's gone through, and he went through a hell of a lot. And talking with him, I realized that mine wasn't the worst experience in the world, and that I shouldn't, I know I never thought that it was the worst in the world, but it was weighing on me heavily. And then once I realized that people have had it a hell of a lot worse than I had, I was like, man, I need to stop being selfish, And that was probably about a time span of about 2.5 to 3 years ago that was happening. But yeah, that's when I realized, like, really came to the realization and completely shifted my mindset on suicide and suicide awareness, not how the Army pushes suicide awareness, right? Just an overall generalization of being a person wanting to live and live for something, not necessarily for you, not having to live for people, right? Not volunteering necessarily, but live for, if you can't find the cause to live for yourself, live for somebody else, and it just might bring you through further than you thought.
That's deep. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I can understand that. And through that process of living, even for that other person or that mission or whatever it may be, you might actually find yourself, right? I think we lost you there. I can't hear your wonderful air conditioning. Yeah, you're still muted for sure. And I think Wade's trying to talk too, and I can't even hear him. Can't hear you. Oh no, man, we're breaking down here. That was getting interesting too. Got you back, baby. Got you back.
Okay, sweet. Somebody called, and apparently that kicks me off the stream when somebody calls. So,
Got
yeah,
you.
back now. Now I just have to figure out how to get it back on my truck audio. I don't think that's going to work. Oh, well, I can hear you, though. I'm back on.
All right, cool. Yeah, man. We left off at basically you saying like if you found the mission to or if you found someone else to live for, it really can pull you through pretty far. And I think that's great advice. And I think also the idea of finding some way to live for something, even if it's like a mission or something like that, that'll really help you push through too. And even in that process, do you think you can really find who you are through pulling through for someone else? Maybe you'll be able to find yourself again. And did that happen for you?
I mean, yeah, definitely. It for me at least, it helped to compare and contrast, my experiences with others, and finding that, like I said earlier, finding that my experiences weren't as bad as others were, really brought it around, and it helped me to get out of my own head. That's what it helped me to do. So, but if you definitely feel the need to get more involved and be more intimate in that process, if that's something that's going to help, I let's see, I support doing whatever you need, barring killing somebody or, doing something extremely illegal type thing. I really support doing anything that you need to do to just stay here another day.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
that's awesome. Yeah, day by day, hour by hour kind of thing.
I think
Just
a lot of us actually think that way. It's like, it's like, for lack of a better term, it's like fuck my life. But I would be happier without being here. But I know all these people wouldn't be happier without me being here, because that saying is suicide doesn't take away the pain; it just passes it on. It's because it's contagious, man. That feeling. So I think you hit it right on the head, bro. Because I've definitely been there myself. I was like, fuck, man, I don't really want to fucking be around anymore. But I also don't want to like do this, you know what I mean? Do this to somebody else. So I definitely relate with what you're saying, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I started, it's once you start that and you start living for somebody else, it can also start coming back, and like you want to live for yourself again, like I definitely had those, well, I still want these experiences, and I still want to do this, and I still want to do that. So by helping others, I guess it helped me like bring it full circle.
That's awesome. I really like what you said there too. You have things that you still wanted to do, right? That's why, like, one of the things that we do here is like we try to find like what is the thing that you want to do? Like, what's a thing that you've always wanted to do that you've never done yet? And then we challenge or give that person the mission to go and do that thing, right? Because there's so many, like, go and travel, like go see another country, or lose weight, or complete a Spartan race like we had with one guy, right? Like things like that might seem small, but they're actually huge. It's things to look forward to, things to work towards. You know what I mean? Like there's always something else that you can find that you want to do to be able to move forward.
Yeah.
Even for gamers, right? Like even if it's like in a video game, like, oh man, like I've always wanted to compete in like a tournament, right? It's like, all right, man, practice and get yourself ready for that gaming tournament. I don't give a shit. I don't care what it is. Like there's tons of things that are worth living for, that are opportunities for you to continue moving forward. And I really do like the idea of living for someone else, because it's like because that's showing and proving there's someone that you care about, and there's someone that cares about you that won't be better off without you here.
Yeah.
I love that. I really do. So tell me, man, like, who was that person? Like, which one was it? Was it a things you wanted to do, or was it a person that you wanted to live for?
I'd say it's both. Different times in my life, it was more than one person type thing. And then, I wanted to have more experiences, and things started playing together at work. Things started coming together, and more opportunities that I was having that wouldn't have happened. No, man, I'm good. It's almost after lunch. Sorry. No, I'm good. I'm good. Wade. But anyways, where was I?
You were
No,
talking about living for somebody or something.
yeah. So it was more than one person. I started really looking back into family, being close with family, um, people that came in and out of my life at those times. Love interest, that type of thing. Still trying to find the right one, but that'll come hopefully. And then opportunities with work, things I've wanted to do, just started butting up out of nowhere, and they wouldn't have. Things I wanted to do my entire military career, and they wouldn't have if I hadn't been here, And I've had excellent experiences from choosing to stay around as opposed to not. So.
And the impact as well that you've had on other people around you, because I mean, you are like selflessly, kind of both living. But man, you're a good NCO, bro. And like the army, the army, unfortunately, does not have a fucking surplus of those. I'm sorry, but
Yeah, I don't know. As far as some people in the army are concerned, I'm not a good NCO, but
well, their opinions ain't your problem,
Yeah, that is true. But I know I've definitely had feedback from a few people that I've been in charge of that definitely said thanks. Like, you were more like a father figure than just an asshole NCO. And it's
That's special.
yeah, definitely. And like I said, Dan and I have had our rough times. But as far as I see it, he was one of the easier people to be in charge of. He was smart, dedicated, driven, that type of thing. Obviously, we all have our own issues, but he was definitely one of the better ones that I was able to be in charge of. He made life easy. Let's put it that way. Never one of my problem children. Probably one of the funniest people I've ever worked with too. If you ever heard his goat impression, ask him about that one.
Oh my God! Thank you for that.
Ask him for the goat sound effect next time you get to see him.
Well, I'm not forgetting that. I for sure got to hear this shit now.
Yeah. Just ask him. Just like, hey Dan, go talk to that goat. And I don't know if he can still do it anymore, but
He probably can.
Oh, it sounded exactly like one of those baby goats. It's hilarious. Yeah, I might have a video that I can send you guys that if I dig it up.
Yes. Oh my God! Please.
Yeah.
Dude, send that over.
Mm-hmm.
That is hilarious.
It'll be our battle call before the next.
You should start every session like this with that.
Dude, absolutely. Actually, we could even put that onto our Twitch channels too as like a sound effect.
Oh God, that'd be hilarious. Let's
do it.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell whether it was a real goat or not unless you had the video. Then you could see him doing it. So
that is amazing. Yeah. All right, send that over, please. I can't wait to see this shit.
Yeah, man. If I still, I'll send it. If not, just tell Dan to be a goat and record it. Trust me, you will not be upset.
Dude, Dan is by far one of the funniest. He has his superpower. I don't know if you know this or not, but he can look at someone and he can tell you exactly what like a celebrity that person looks like. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
dude, I
think I've seen that superpower from him, but I believe it.
Then, dude, we could be sitting in the middle of like a conference, like an important, mental health conference or something like that. Somebody's speaking, and then you'll just hear Dan go, huh, and then like hit you, and then he'll look something up and go like this, and then point, like he'll show you on the phone who it is, and he'll point at the person, like, oh my God. It's like the greatest, it is literally the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah. Oh God.
But
so we have a question from somebody. They asked if you were at Restrepo.
No, that happened the deployment before I was there. So Restrepo was what was it, 7 and 8? Yeah, I was 7 and 08, and I deployed in 9 and 10. But the thing that I'm proud of is that all the dudes that were in that really shitty deployment, at least because I was in chosen company, all the dudes that came back from that deployment were the dudes that I got to learn from, right? I'd already been in for four years at that time. By the time I got to 173rd, I'd already been in for 4 years, got my stripes, but hadn't deployed. But all the people that were in those deployments that learned all those super hard lessons from that shitty ass deployment were the people that were able to mold me, you know.
Can you talk on Restrepo a little bit?
I can't. I'm not. I wasn't there. I'd rather not. So
cool. That's fine. That's fine. Just for people who don't know, look it up.
Yeah, everything that I know about those times were from people that were there. So I can talk from a third person perspective, right? Perspective, but not a knowledgeable perspective about that.
Right. So, what was the overall like? Because some people might not know. I don't know everything that happened to Restrepo. So, like, what's the summary, if you will?
So Restrepo was focused on one company, and then one company out of that deployment from the 173rd, from 2nd of the 503rd. And it was Battle Company that Restrepo was focused on. And it was their plight over a 15-month deployment. And in a, I can't think of the terminology, but in a very dislocated area, right? They were way back in valleys and things that they didn't have a whole lot of support. You know, they were all on platoon cops, fighting it out with a bunch of people that didn't really fucking want them there. So it was, for everything that from everybody that I heard was on that deployment, it was a very trying time, and you know, that's how that was. If you want to talk to some of those dudes, I can get you in contact with them, but other than that, I can't speak anymore for that. Or speak more on that for them. It's just not.
That's okay. Yeah, that's good. So it was just a difficult fight, is what I'm hearing. It was a fight in valleys that were not easy to be fought, I guess, right?
Yeah. So it's a lot of them. You know, it's at least from the people that I know in Chose Company's perspective, a lot of them weren't on the mountaintops. You know, they were down in valleys, kind of like what happened. From one of the platoons in Chose Company and whatnot. That wasn't Restrepo, but it was during the same time frame. It was right at the end of the deployment. They were put in a low spot with, you know, pretty much 360 degrees of high ground, and they got fucked on one day. So from what I understand, there was a lot of that happening. Support was far away, you know, that type of thing. So
yeah,
they had to go and fight it out with what they had, you know, on however many there were. So
damn. So that was I just saw something recently, because I was told by so many guys, like, James, you have to see this fucking movie. You have to watch it because it's one of the best war movies ever, to really give you a description of like what the hell was happening over there. Called The Outpost. I don't know if you ever saw it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, that's you know, I was told, and you know, I know Wade has a Bronze Star, and a few other guys that we know have Bronze Stars with Valor and things like that. And like guys from that fight got that award, along with other awards like Silver Stars and Medal of Honor and such. I mean, blows my mind. Like, that's what you guys went through to receive those medals. I mean, nothing but fucking absolute respect. To put it bluntly, that movie fucked me up that night, because I really put myself in the perspective of like, because I can't help myself. I'm very much an empath. So I put myself into the emotional set of being like, oh my God, like, that's what the fuck you went through. Like, I let Wade know that night. Dan, I messaged a couple of the boys like, dude, I fucking love you, man. Like, I just want to let you know, I literally love you guys. And like, nothing but respect. And Dan and I talked a little bit about that. And then Dan sent me something funny, of course, and it made me laugh or whatever. But, he and I talked a little bit about it, actually a little bit more in depth. And that movie and, what was portrayed. Dude, nothing but respect. Even like Humphreys, I mean, dude, nothing respect for you. You know what I mean? Nothing but it. So, and that's coming from the heart. I'm not saying thank you for your service. Like randomly, I mean that shit. Like I know it's hard. You know what I mean?
Correction. Recommend for a Bronze Star.
What'd you get?
Me?
Yeah.
I had a recommendation for a Bronze Star with the V device for Afghanistan.
Oh, did it get downgraded?
I didn't get shit. I got it taken and given to the other E6 who was higher ranking than myself.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all right. The battalion commander, who I'm not hating on by any means.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, give people their due, right? Like, it's a friction point, right? Because a lot of people are given awards for rank, whether or not their experiences were equal to those of people that did a lot harder things. So, but that's
our BC essentially said he didn't want to give it to an E5, so he should give it to somebody in the same fight, but in E6.
Yeah, that's something that happens a lot that I completely don't agree with.
Yep, that was me, bro. I left pretty bitter after that deployment, but whatever.
Yeah, I think that's something that has to change. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that I can't talk on that I think needs to change, but and some things that have happened, some changes that have happened in the military that I do agree with, with big changes that have happened. But like I said, can't talk on those things. It's my personal opinion, not the Army's opinion. So
yeah,
that's fair. Don't do it. Stop.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to have this become a problem. So, I hear you. Yeah. I hear you loud and clear. And I think a lot of people hear you loud and clear, and also probably even agree with you. But all that said, I know we're hitting right here at that 32-minute mark, and I don't want to, hold you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to close down pretty good. I mean, I'm away from work. I'm literally looking at my window that I sit down. Yeah.
Yep. So this is a really good one. I'm really happy that you were able to share with us a story where, you went through some shit yourself. You found your mission. The way that you got through it was you lived for someone else. And you then you began to find even for yourself how you began to live for yourself, and even other missions you had to do. I had to accomplish this. I had to accomplish this. And it's really good that you found that and that you actually reached out for help. You became vulnerable to do that because that's really difficult, man. So nothing but respect for you on that too, because you made it through that fight as well. Congratulations on that. And anytime you need anything, I mean, we're always here. So
definitely, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey.
So with all that said, thank you everybody for coming in for this quick episode here, FML, which usually means fuck my life. Of course, here it means for my life. Trying to turn those negatives into positives. And of course, so something that I did recently, I just shared it with you guys, how I combated my own little fucking anxiety, sadness bullshit with just telling my friends that, hey, I love you guys and I respect you. I recommend that for everybody too. Even you, Ben, like if you ever go through that shit, why don't you reach out to somebody, tell them, hey man, I'm okay. I just want to let you know that I love you. All right. Like all love. Like I really appreciate you and having you around, just thinking about you. That's all. And that can even save that person's life. You have no idea what they're going through in that moment, that time. So with that said, hate is a cancer. Love is the answer. Love that. That's Wage War's quote from one of their songs. Really appreciate that, band. But thank you.